Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Max Manos, an incremental. It's not really a clicking game. It's a weird combination of things where you're destroying shapes by hovering over them. And when they get destroyed, obviously you get resources, but then they also explode into kind of like little extra shots that can destroy other shapes, creating chain reactions. It's a weird little combination of incremental mechanics, but one that I rather enjoyed the demo of. I enjoyed in the demo that I played a little while ago. Feels like it gives you a lot more time this time around, which, hey, I'm not complaining. Let's see, extra seconds. We can also go to shapes and get some regular upgrades, but we don't have enough juice. So, yeah. When shapes are destroyed, they drop currency. Yeah, I know this. Feels like they're maybe easier to destroy, too. The one thing I'm noticing is it takes some effort to actually pick stuff up. Oh, because the pickup radius is actually smaller. The circles are my damage radius. The pickup radius is my hand. At least currently. Well, what do we want to do? Expands the range. Let's go for the shard collection range just because. Okay. It should be legitimately much easier if I don't have to worry about picking things up as much. Now we're trying to go for as many overlap shapes as we possibly can to get these, not only the cascade effect damage, but then also just more stuff. Well, I mean, it's just more efficient. Let's see. Do I want to invest a little bit more into this? I could. You can tell if it has one of the like little arrows coming off of it that there are more upgrades down that path. Destroy enough shapes down the meter and we can prestige. Oh, must have destroyed something down in the bottom right. Missed it. It's fine. Snag these. Sure, we grab everything. And it doesn't matter. No matter what, we're hitting the same level of kind of efficiency. Increases the damage we do. Yeah. It's interesting seeing all of these incremental games popping up. I'm going to say this is very much kind of in the same category as Node Buster, which I rather enjoyed last year. And I wonder how... I would love to see... I know most developers wouldn't do this. That was a nice cascade. But the idea of going through and... for all of these different games that are, I'm going to say, clearly inspired by other games in the genre. Shape of a small chance of spawning a shadow shapes. Can only be destroyed by direct attacks immune to projectiles fired by other shapes. I think they also have more HP, but they give better rewards. What was I going to say? But for all of these games, I almost wish there was kind of like a way that you could trace their genealogy, as weird as that sounds, just from the perspective of like, oh yeah, this is where these ideas came from. This is what inspired this other game. Okay. I'm just gonna keep investing into damage. The faster I can pop shapes, the better. And then we should probably just get as many squares and triangles and stuff as we possibly can. I'm curious what the upper limit is, because I rather enjoyed what I saw the last time I played this. And I'm curious what new things there are. So expands the attack radius. No, I'm just gonna hit harder. A little bit longer. We can extend the timer a smidge. We might also want to go for a little bit more pickup radius, as I'm starting to overkill things kind of quickly. There we go. Snag a bunch of these. Yeah, currently we're not getting a whole lot of those like proc effects. It's just raw damage, nothing more. But I can work with that. Let's see. More damage, more damage. Look, if it's affordable, then I'm gonna buy it. The less time I spend on each and every one of these shapes, the better. Because that means more time just breaking more of them, and hopefully more like cascade effects. The only immediate problem is we don't have quite enough shapes going on, and so they're not We don't have enough targets. Let's see. Okay, the next one is 3,000, so that's a little expensive. There we go. That's good enough. Yeah. Now if I have... My goal is to always hit at least 2 or 3 shapes per hit. I think after this, let's go for probably pickup radius, just because. Then I can think about other things. It feels like it's so much faster than the last iteration of this. Because the previous demo was downright slow. Or at least it felt that way. Okay. Just gotta make sure I don't leave anything behind. So now that I've like really cranked up the number of basic shapes on the board, we can look into some of the other shapes too, but I just wanted to go for quantity so I could have multiple targets going on. But I think we want pickup radius more than anything else next, because I'm losing shapes here just due to some of these being outside of my radius. There we go. That should be better. I don't know what my pickup radius exactly is now. I don't think it is visually marked at all. But as long as I'm not losing out on too many of these and I don't have to go too far to hunt them down, then we're probably in a good spot. Ooh, that was a good hit. Yeah, five or 6 shapes all at once. I guess we could actually scale up my hit size as well. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. Let's probably go for just bigger hit size. But yeah, so I would compare this probably most closely with Node Buster, maybe. But I'm curious if there's like other incremental games that I've missed along the ways that kind of led to the creation of this one. Because I've been playing at least a handful of games kind of in the same vein recently. Deep Space Cache. There's a shadow shape, but didn't last. It's fine. Let's see. Ooh, that's getting pricey. Okay. So the better pickup radius is going quite far from me. Snag the rest of these, go from there. It does make me wonder what the upper limit on this game is, if this is short or if it actually, like, goes further at some point. Because I do find a lot of these incremental games are very much on the short play side of things. Let's see. Get a couple more pentagrams. Pentagons. Sorry. I legitimately learned what a pentagram was before I learned what a pentagon was, which probably sounds very silly, but I got into Dungeons and Dragons like very early. And so I literally taught myself how to read, at least in part, by like reading fantasy books that were maybe a little bit beyond my let's actually take a look at these. Respawn time of square. Ooh. Yeah, we should max that out. Make them come back faster. But like, my brother and I taught ourselves to read by reading the like player's handbook for 2nd edition D&D, and then even more so with like 3rd edition stuff like that. And so it's one of those where like some parts of my like knowledge and understanding of the English language are forever tinged by Dungeons and Dragons, which is very funny to me. Let's go back to this. Okay, boost strength of... I'm going to put a point into this just because. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. Increase the value of shards dropped by square and triangles. Because right now that's pretty much the vast majority of the shapes that we're breaking here. And so if I can double their value, or at least increase their value by like a little bit, that's going to go very far. Yeah, it was... Oh, that's the other benefit to the shadow shapes. They fire off much bigger boosts. Okay. Oh, there we go. We hadn't maxed that one out yet. Oh, so originally there were triangles to denote that they were worth 3 points each. Now they're up to 4 because they're 4 points each. Still worth it. Music's a bop. It's nice to listen to. I don't remember it being copyrighted either, which is good. Okay. Shapes. I mean, probably just continuously invest in that one. Like, whenever I have the money, we increase the base value of triangles and squares. Until that caps out, just because that's probably going to be some of the biggest income bonus we can possibly get. We might want to go back and invest a little bit more into pickup radius, though a lot of the, like, projectiles fired off of shapes are going to be proccing these things. Okay, so if I go back to shapes, let's see. Chance for... Oh, so it's effectively a crit chance. That's not a bad idea. Chance for projectiles to drop a shard. Increase the chance to shoot a projectile on destruction. Oh, wait, what? Oh. Chance for projectiles fired by square and triangle to drop a shard. Interesting. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these are starting to get kind of pricey. So let's offset it. Let's just get more. Because right now I destroy things extremely quickly. So it seems like the most practical thing I could do is just have a plurality of shapes just in play. And go from there. I'm not convinced that the shadow shapes are necessarily the most effective. Worth use of my time. They do have all of those extra shots that come off. The big problem mostly boils down to when they finally proc or pop, either or. That's the point where like it's about to end and I can't really like benefit from it. Okay, I think we could use a little bit more damage. Some of these are starting to resist me a little bit because I think I'm prestiging too hard. I wonder if there's a way that I can actually turn it back down again. Because yeah, prestiging just gives me a multiplier, but I wonder if I'd just be better off if I was able to just steamroll every shape under the sun. Hard to tell. We're gonna prestige again, aren't we? No, we're close. I think maybe it's worth it. Maybe the multiplier is actually quite good. Yeah, I'm just trying to aim for these particularly dense segments. Feels like the pickup radius is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So that's good at least. Let's see. I guess I'll snag a circle. Because yeah, the bigger my AoE is, the more I'm going to be able to take out. And so we might as well just push that kind of hard here. There we go. It is... Like, oddly enough, normally I'm kind of not cool with sound effects, but here I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of jamming along with them. Even if it's just like pick-pock, 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 pick-pock. Let's put a 0.3 into this. I was hoping to get the next tier of it. But alas. Let's see. Shadow triangle. Gets me a whole mess of things. I think part of it is the sound effects. It's rhythmic rather than just the same sound effect over and over again. It's one of the reasons one of the reasons why I don't like sound effects is I do not like the noises of guns. I find gun noises like realistic human guns does not sound good to me. But I'm super cool with like weird, more like sci-fi, like boom guns, that kind of thing. Or like Killing Floor 2 had a pretty solid sound effect where if you were playing as the medic, your rifle, and especially I think it was the SMG, it sounded more kind of like popcorn, and that one made me very happy. It was kind of nothing, but I loved playing medic in that game. For starters, like, oddly enough, I'm actually very much into playing support in games. I don't know why. I think it was, well, no, I know exactly why. It's very much like old school MMO. Like, when playing old school MMOs back in the day, it was legitimately, like, impossible to get into parties if you were, like, DPS or something. That, you know, there was always a desperate need for more healers and, to a lesser degree, tanks. But DPS often was kind of like the, well, you needed like 3 or 4 DPS, or no, 2 or 3 DPS for every party. But you always needed a healer, and there was always a shortfall of healers. And so eventually it was just kind of like, fine, I'll just become a healer. Unfortunately, well, I don't know, like Guild Wars added healing, so I've been enjoying that lately. Not that I've been playing too much Guild Wars lately. And then like Monster Hunter, I've been playing Hunting Horn, and that's a very good time. Yeah, what other games? I did an amount of healing in Final Fantasy XIV when I played that, and that was a lot of fun. Let's see, lightning strikes every couple, Gonna go for that. Omega shape. I guess I could have gotten some more. Yeah, the weird dewdrop shape doesn't give our... It doesn't have like a proc effect, it just gives more. There we go. That's a decent chunk. Alright, Omega shape. Drops large amount of things when destroyed. Probably too expensive is the one downer. Like, it probably takes too much time and effort to break this thing. Hard to say. Yeah, I think if I did more damage, it'd be worth it. But I think as it stands, not so much so. That's okay. And we're making enough I could probably... should probably go in and boost a bunch of my shapes. So they're starting to shoot. We were getting by pretty well on just like mass AoE and just raw damage, but I bet if all of these shapes were doing more cascade damage, that'd work better for me. Okay, sure. I guess that's all I've got for a moment. I think no matter what, number one thing is just to have as much as I can get on the board, nothing more. I'll just go for peak coverage. Let's see. We don't have circle, star, and sparkle shapes in that large of quantity. Let's go for that. Projectile and death, and strength through projectiles. Sure. We just want these things to be extremely, extremely fighty in their own regard, so the whole screen just explodes whenever I break anything. Yeah, I think the shadow shapes are now a little bit more valuable. Because yeah, we took out the Omega shape. That's the point of it. I'm not supposed to hit the Omega shape at all. it's supposed to passively die in the background. That's a passive damage bonus. So we've got supposedly, oh, there it is. But yeah, the Omega shape is supposed to just get hit by all of the other projectiles from the things that I break. And that's how it gets destroyed. Presumably. Okay. Snake that drops shards whenever its body parts are hit by Max Manos. Sure. Snake? Okay. I almost kind of wish there was like a hand pan sound effect you could swap to. So instead of, you know, the regular tap, 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 it was more of just like a, well, a hand pan noise. Okay, looks like I can really invest in that snake if I want to. Probably go damage, attraction radius. Go back to this. Yeah, I should probably really focus kind of hard on getting these shapes to all start shooting. Yeah, didn't get it. Still got a decent amount of money, though. Let's see. Triggers lightning. Number of shards are in the Omega shape. Increase total time. Extra seconds. Admittedly, the more time doesn't, on its own, increase anything. Sure, it gets me more to spend. But I've seen other incremental games do a thing where the longer you are on the run, the more points you get. I guess this is going to make it really easy to prestige. Because the prestige isn't based on DPS, it's just based on how much you've destroyed. So that is kind of good in its own right. Let's see. Yeah, what else do we have? Still thinking. Max that out. Oh, okay. Didn't break the game. Looks like I was about to. Okay, so that we've now maxed out, at least for the most part, the squares and triangles and some other things. There we go. And I have no idea if hitting the snake is actually comparatively worth it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I guess we didn't get the Omega shape. Didn't need to. Let's see. Yeah, things are getting tougher, which is part of it. Probably just keep boosting those first. Because yeah, we want all of my bonus shapes to just explode for as much damage as we possibly can. I should probably make sure that I've maxed out the amount of pentagons and hexagons on the board too, because I don't think I've done that yet. Did the snake destroy the Omega symbol there? Feels like it might have. Alright, decent amount. Let's see, extra shapes. No, I'll probably go back to this. Finish that off. It reduces the respawn time of square and triangle shapes by 10%, enhances the efficiency of all other related upgrades. So that one's going to be kind of expensive, but that means we're going to have even more even more squares and triangles more or less coming back endlessly. I was going to say is a lot of these incremental games very much feel like they're extremely short, maybe a couple hours long, almost no replayability. I think it works, but I'd love to see them just go a little bit further, and oh boy. Okay, that was extremely good. So that was the hexagon popping off. Yeah, that's like a good 6-7 extra shapes. That's probably worth it. And yeah, we should keep an eye out for any and all hexagon shadow shapes coming through. Because we want that ability to go off hard. Because it's got some very good coverage to it. Okay. Yeah, let's just max that out. Start going circles. Let's start getting some stars and sparkles. Forget what they all do, but it doesn't really matter. It's just more income. We might want to go back to investing into the pickup radius. If we can. Oh, there's a pentagon. Oh, but the pentagon isn't the very good one. Ooh. The star must be the one with the crescent moons. That is quite good. Okay. Do we do circles? No, let's go back to this. Yeah, I'm curious about the boosted efficiency by 10%. Does it give them a flat 10% or is it a 10% multiplier? And does that 10% multiplier stack? I have no idea. Not that it, like, matters too much one way or another. It's an upgrade, and no matter what, it will give me a bonus. I'm sure if I max it out, it's either a 50% increase to the spawn rate, or yeah, it's got to be something like that. Let's see. What are these? Bloom. Adds girders. Should probably add some, like, passive damage. Because, yeah, the explosions and the lightning strikes might not be a bad idea at this point. Just extra things. Oh, though I was going to invest into pickup radius more than anything else. Just because at this point things are starting to spiral outside of my own control. Okay, managed to prestige. Is that some cowbell in the background I was hearing? Might have been. Keep saying I should invest into pickup radius, and then I do anything and everything but. Wow, that just instantly stopped. Dang, screens just decided to start exploding on me. And complaining. It's not another hexagon. Okay, pickup radius. Oh, well, that's the end of it. Okay. Is it just me or did this board zoom out a bit? It feels like the shapes are smaller, but I can't tell. Kinda wish there were more upgrades that increased the... No, it's gotta have... It's got to have zoomed out a little bit because it feels like the Omega is much smaller. Okay, Star's pretty cool. Let's see. Buy more of those. That should be good enough. Yeah, I wonder if we're actually hitting the point where I'm gonna run out of content. There's gotta be more to this, right? The Steam page definitely implied, like, things would look even crazier. So I've probably just gotta keep rolling and there's more stuff, like on a separate page, or a certain level of prestige gets us there. Or, who knows, this is all a fabrication. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay. Boost the value. Boost the value. Because, yeah, I guess if I max that out, that's a 50% chance to double how much they're worth. And that gets boosted by the final upgrade. I think the one thing I wish, like the lightning, the explosions, this arrow, this snake, I wish all of these had kind of more buildcraft potential behind them. I mentioned that when I'd played the demo previously, and I always wonder if developers see my videos or not. Sometimes, in a lot of cases, they do. Maybe they didn't hear. But it was one of those where it's like, yeah, I'd love to spec into the snake more, but there's no upgrades that affect it. There we go. And so it's there, it increases the amount that it does, but like, it'd be kind of neat if there was an upgrade that made it so that, like, the snake actually comes back for a second pass, or the arrow is more likely to shoot for center of mass on certain things. Let's see. Unlocks shape splicing. Hold up. What does that do? What does that mean? Yeah, so it feels like there's got to be another layer in here. It's just a matter of getting a little further. The bonus shapes are pretty good. We're still making a decent amount of money from this. Shape splicing. Reduces respawn of splice shapes. Okay, splicing. Press the splice button to randomly select and combine two regular shapes, creating new powerful splice shape. Only unique combinations of shapes will be added to the game. Oh, so if it's already been spliced. I see. So I don't have enough shards. Got it. So now that spiral is just somewhere in the mix, and it probably inherits both of the bonuses. And does something kind of different within. Okay. I'll bite. This is cool. I don't really have much control over it, but that means I can get up to, at least currently, 45 other shapes. And get them into circulation. And have them presumably inherit a number of the bonuses from their progenitor forms, effectively. Do another one of those. Probably gets progressively more expensive. Triangle, circle. Seems like the next one's or the Let's see. It seems like they've flattened. Like the price isn't going up. The first one's free, but then after that you have to pay some big bucks into it. And yeah, we are absolutely zooming out. Okay, so that also means that there's a huge incentive for me to go and finish maxing out each and every one of the shape boosts. Because, yeah, I could splice some more, but yeah. So, I guess in that case, more than anything else, let's, increase the amount of shapes on the board. Because it feels like I break them plenty fast. Hopefully we find a shadow splice shape at some point, because I feel like that's going to be fun. Alright, snag a little bit of everything. Didn't get it. It's fine. It reduces the respawn of splice shapes. This gets very expensive. All of these do. Whereas, yeah, let's just get a whole bunch of stars. I mean, presumably the more shapes we have, the more likely they are going to be to cascade effect into each other as they proc their abilities. Unfortunately, the stars are orange, so I keep thinking they're currency, and I keep reflexively going for them. Yup, that was the good stuff. Let me see. Yeah, just the more shapes we have, the better. I might look into boosting those explosions as well. Something over here. Man, I am just sleepy today. I don't know what happened. Just absolutely... Well, no, I know what it is. It's air pressure. I'm particularly vulnerable when, like, seasons change, especially in kind of a chaotic fashion. It was like 15, 20 degrees the other day, and it's going to be like 60 on Wednesday. And, like, I'm not built for that. That kind of thing just puts me out and keeps me out. Let's see. Add some more time. Yeah, explosions occur more often. Drop more shards. Well, we might as well max out the explosion one. Because that's a nice and easy. Let's see. I'm curious how quickly I can destroy the Omega symbol. If I were to just start hitting it immediately as it spawns. Well, getting a decent amount of stuff for it. Yeah, let's just boost my passive damage. Unfortunately, passive damage does not give me passive pickup radius. Though I cover like half the screen, so it's not that bad. Okay. Smack both. Get the Omega symbol out. I don't actually know how much more the Omega symbol is worth. I haven't really invested in it, which is part of the problem. Let's see. What do I invest in? Back to this? Something like that. Get that. Stars over here. That might not have... Oh, there it is. It hadn't procced. I just gotta remember to routinely come by to pick things up. Let's see. Unfortunately, I'm in that kind of weird doldrums. I mean, I guess you never really leave it where every upgrade, you can only buy like 2 or 3 at a time. Let's see. Back to this. Probably. Max those out. Okay, so that's actually not as expensive as I thought it would be. I'm just gonna max all of the basic properties out for shapes. And get the efficiency booster and whatnot. I wanna mess around with splicing, but it feels like the splices aren't going to be good until I've got both types. Oh, that's a spliced version shadow shape. That's extremely cool. Okay, so it's the sparkles that have the little moon. Alright, so far so good. That does get pricey though. But yeah, if I can just max out all of the shape properties, unless there's anything else, then I can kind of just kick back on it, and it'll increase the amount of shapes I'm having, and then also the amount of passive damage I put out. And yeah, we know the snake will kill the Omega symbol, which I was not expecting exactly. Okay. Income's looking great. I'm gonna max this out, just see what I can get. So there's some kind of diamonds drop. We've seen the diamonds come from the Omega symbol as well. So they're not the most unusual thing. So we got a lot of diamonds from that one. Alright. No, that's not the shadow spiral. I want to keep it... Ooh. I think that's the first time I've seen a shadow plus go by. Let's see. Increases the chance for shapes to drop diamonds. Alright. It's not bad. It's good income. But I think I'm still going to come back here. Whew. That's pricey. So that means the other shapes are going to be even more expensive to max out. I guess it makes sense. I mean, luckily my income is just scaling, so it doesn't matter that much. Rip the Omega. And yeah, the diamonds have got to just be worth more. That's the main reason why you'd want a diamond. Okay. Maybe it's worth it. Just no... Alright, max those out. The more they proc their abilities, at least. Yeah, I do wonder if I can actually just like zigzag back and forth here. It seems like I have enough pickup radius. I don't think I need to be that active of a participant anymore. It's mostly just making sure I'm not losing any resources here. Like, I'll aim for the snake. But I guess with the snake, I could almost kind of just like brush back and forth along it. I could pet the snake. Okay. Do I want time, shape, damage, and size? I guess that's something I've been kind of ignoring a little bit. Unfortunately, I think this game is actually so casual, it's putting me to sleep just a little bit. Like, it's just that right level of zen where I'm like, yeah, I could go back and take another nap. I'm not a very good nap person. I like start falling asleep and then I wake back up again and I start thinking about what I want to do, what I need to do, or any combination therein. And then I'm awake again, even if I'm regretfully awake. I think part of the reason why I focus on the idea of build crafting is I've kind of put myself in this like weird Mod Podge situation. I can talk about this with other games. There's an incremental game actually that came out. Okay, it's going to be kind of weird. This game is coming out on the 6th. But I think the video might go up before then. I'll have to figure that out. There's another incremental game that came out on the 4th. That is like a top-down incremental, like top-down incremental bullet hell game, which I thought was actually kind of charming. Let's see, what was the name? Just so I get the correct one. Nebulog. And in that one, it has kind of the giant talent tree that you can invest into. But one of the things that it does that I really, really like is that you get like unique skill points every time you kill a boss, or like a one-off resource that's a white square. And you only get one per boss, so there's a maximum cap of like 30 over the course of the run. And, you know, early on, you only have like 5, 10, something like that. And there's more upgrades than there are white blocks that you can spend them on. And so you have to kind of be judicious about what you spend them on. And this kind of does do that a little bit. Like, I haven't been investing into lightning because it's not really that important to me. 200,000 just for that, Christ. But, you know, this kind of does that because I'm not investing into lightning because I'm not using it, but also doesn't really feel like I can invest into lightning. It's something that I can periodically put some points into, but once it's maxed out, there's nothing more that I can do with lightning. It's functionally no longer an upgrade path. It's just something that I already have, which is fine. You know, these games eventually hit they hit an upper limit. You can't really push that further, but it is one of those where it often feels kind of like a bit of a shame, at least on a personal level, because there's so many interesting ideas being expressed, and I wish I could personally like choose to go in different directions here. Let's see, 150 for the next one, probably still worth it. And so, I'm very much in favor of incremental games that force you to make those choices and actually gives you enough, like, build depth within that to kind of feel like I'm speccing into lightning. Like, what if the lightning had chain lightning effects? You know, it would actually like bounce from one shape to the next, so it hits one shape and then will like ping pong between a couple other shapes or spread around or something like that. And you could even have like a couple of like tiers within this, but as it stands, lightning is just kind of like a random bonus damage type that I have. Automatically generate shards every second during active gameplay. All right, no idea how much that's actually going to be worth it. Either it's going to give me a little bit or it's going to give me a shit ton. And I have no way of knowing. And that's okay. But that for me, the sign of like the best incremental games. Oh, we get 2 arrows now. Okay, so maybe I should actually just consider investing hard into that arrow. Similarly, investing into the snake. Oh, we're making decent money here. I'll buy 1 level in that, at the very least. Max out the arrow. Max out some other things. Because, yeah, if I can have the arrows just, like, blasting through the entire screen, routinely giving me a bunch of stuff, that's probably a good thing. Maybe. It's also fun watching them fly. And that's kind of part of it, is I wish that the arrows weren't just this one thing that I was putting one upgrade into, but instead it was its whole separate section that was like, hey, big arrow, small arrow, multiple arrows, arrows that spawn more arrows, stuff like that. I recognize, like, that sort of thing takes time and effort, but it's always one of those where it's like, it's a shame not to have that kind of depth. Okay, let's just start going for some of the low-hanging fruit and maxing those out. The, like, dewdrops, for example, I've been disregarding because they weren't that interesting, but, like, at this point I can max out the entire sector without cost. I think that's part of the reason why I was like, you know, choosing not to invest into lightning right now doesn't mean that I'm making a choice not to use lightning per se, and then eventually I just have so much money that I'm like, fine, I'll max out lightning there, and now I'm no different from anybody who had spec'd into lightning originally. Yeah, maybe they get to this point faster, or maybe I got there faster, who knows. It feels like this is getting me some amount. This is just pricey. Okay, what is this one? 0.2 seconds total time for every shape you own. That's probably just go back to maxing out the amount of shapes. I was skipping them because they were pricey, but my income is so stupidly high that sure, why not, right? Plus also probably means a lot more shadow shapes are going to be spawning. Certainly feels like it. Boy, we still have a lot of time left. I think the one problem with the longer time is we're already out of arrows, we're out of snakes. Like, they're not coming back, so it's mostly just a shape blasting festival than anything else. We're gonna make more money than we ever did. The question is it more money per second? Let's leave that alone for a bit. See, I might as well have as many of these on the board as I can. Let's see. It feels like, yeah, it feels like the board did get bigger. Now, the longer time does mean we're going to be prestiging more often. Or at least we're going to get a couple of prestiges under our belts. Snag the rest of these. And those H's, the shadow shapes, are extremely strong. On the plus side, I will say the longer duration means I get to listen to the music longer. The menu music while I'm, like, shopping ain't bad. But I've heard it before. Okay. Do we want to max these out? Yeah. There we go. So now we're going to have boosted circles and let's see, boosted circles and sparkles and stars, which should be more. All right, and like the income side of things is doing amazingly well. That shouldn't surprise. I mean, it's an incremental game. Everything goes up very quickly once you hit a certain. Once you start hitting certain thresholds. The only ones that don't are the ones that have diminishing returns. Effectively, everything gets progressively more expensive the more upgrades you get. That one's always a little tricky because you really have to offset that with, you know, enough power. Otherwise, it just feels so sluggish. Penta. Meet all three criteria. You'll unlock the option to fix a penta piece. Doing so will reset your progress, but your shard multiplier goes up by 20%. You start the game with a new game modifier. Okay, so I got 350 of the upgrades. Oh, that's splicing. Chance of splice shapes to shoot projectiles when destroyed. Okay. Now we've seen all of them. So there's a slot machine. Value of shards dropped by splice shapes by 2 when destroyed. Respawn. And chance for splice shapes to shoot projectiles when destroyed and boost the strength of those projectiles. So do the splice shapes not inherit their original core? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Well, I think we'll do the penta next, just because. That's very much going to be the end of the video, just because, I know, starting over does feel like it would be a little slow. I just want to see what the new modifier does to the game. The 20% increase will be good. You know, obviously just speed everything up dramatically, but then also, whatever the new modifier is, hopefully will do something fun. I wonder if I get to choose, because, like, that could be what I'm looking for. You know, you have a much more generic set of potential available upgrades, but you might be able to do fun things with that. Hey, so that was the rounded triangle splice shapes explosion. Okay. So yeah, let's go back to the penta. It seems like there's one more thing there as well. Click anywhere to start. What? I'm confused. I thought I built the penta. Maybe I didn't. Damn, that was bright. Yeah, we're definitely getting a ton of those shadow shapes. Which, I don't think I've seen a single upgrade that, like, really affects shadow shapes in any way, shape, or form. It would have been neat to have some upgrades that specifically make it so, like, shadow shapes are more common or less durable or fire even bigger shots. Stuff like that. Alright, back we go. Oh, we did build it. Oh. Oh, if you meet all three criteria. So it's just telling me I can. So I've got to be up to level 13, and we've got to have 350 upgrades. Got it. So we're not there yet. Okay, so there's more to this game. I was very curious because It felt like I was only getting about an hour's worth of content out of this, and then I was going to be done, and that felt weird and wrong. But yeah, having a prestige after an hour that really does change things up, yeah, I can see that actually giving me a lot to play around with. Prestige systems are always interesting. I never know how to fully feel about them. I feel bad I haven't really messed with the splice shapes yet. I know they're an easy source of extra shapes. They're just expensive. Okay, so if I look at this, yeah, we still got a lot more upgrades to potentially grab. Let's grab the slot machine. Slots. A spin. For a 50% chance to win a general upgrade, slot machine exclusively grants upgrades you've already maxed out, providing additional benefits beyond their original limits. Keep in mind, winnings are limited. That's... okay, that's cool. We might as well throw some more shapes into this mix, too. Well, let's go back to this and buy that one, because that gives us more time. Because more time is probably going to be one of the big ones for, oh, there's a diamond. Ooh, okay. More time is going to be one of the big requirements if I want to get those level ups. And yeah, I'm not the most confident that I'm going to be able to get everything here. Or even to get that penta over the course of this video. Because it seems like getting to the next level is actually going to be tricky. Okay, snag the rest. Big explosions. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Huh. There's a cross laser that ascended. Well, the income's good. Yeah, how many splice shapes do I want to add? I might as well add a bunch. Unfortunately, I have no idea exactly what their explosion pattern is going to look like. But maybe that's fine. Oh, price I think went up by a little bit. Okay, so this will tell me all the different combos. Well, we've got a whole mess of special shape types getting mixed around in here. Some of which, yeah, I'm definitely seeing their proc effect, and it is weird and funky, and I don't understand exactly how they're working, but it's fine. It's getting up to level 13. It's gonna be tricky. We are getting so many more shadow shapes here. Makes me a little frustrated that there is no more upgrades that increase my overall, Oh, I should actually just go for raw damage at this point. There's no more upgrades that boost my pickup radius. I know the slot machine may give that to me. But there's no telling. Oh, just barely got a level. Let's see. Yeah, let's boost those. Because I need to be able to destroy the shadow shapes really quickly. If I can. It legitimately may not let me. Okay. Keep grabbing those shadow shapes. Either that or I start looking more into even better passive damage. So I can potentially take out the shadow shapes without actually interceding. Oh, it's like a weird man. Oh, there's the multi-triangle. Yeah, the splice shadow shapes do obscene damage. And they look cool. Like, I will give this credit. It's absolute visual chaos. But it is fun to watch. Yeah. Yeah, let's make it so the splice shapes are more likely to have projectiles. Because it seems like at this point the screen's starting to just destroy itself. Without too much intercession on my part. I don't even know what's going on, man. Some of the screenshots showed, like, the game just not having any more shapes visible. It was all just, like, arrows and patterns and stuff. And it's like, is that possible? And the answer is, oh no, I totally get it now. Yeah, a little bit more time when we can get up to level 15. We're going to be close here. No, I think we got it. Yep, got it. Alright, fix a pentapiece. Are you sure? Sure, I mean, what else am I going to do? Okay. New game modifier, Attack of the Fists. Every game modifier slightly changes gameplay as some of the shop upgrades. Textile changes to shooting powerful fist projectiles. Huh. I kind of wish I could choose. I don't know if that's better. And yeah, it's the same general upgrades. Alright, well, I think this is a good stopping point. It's a charming game, and I like the fact that there is this multi-level prestige system that does change the talent tree in some meaningful fashion. Yeah, I have no way of controlling this. I almost at least wish there was an indication when it was gonna fire off, but I'm sure eventually it gets faster, more than anything else. I think the main one is just wishing that I could choose. Norpaplog did a very good job of that, and it's like, yeah, what is the build you're trying to go for here? Increases damage dealt by projectiles fired by Max Manos. I'll go for a bit of pickup radius. But like overall, it's an inventive little incremental game. It's got a lot of good ideas. The music is a lovely bop that I do not remember if his YouTube's safe or not. God, I hope it was. But it might not. I don't know, man. It's just the name of the game, question mark. I just want to see what's the upgrade to the original AoE. Because, yeah, I was kind of expecting I'd breeze through, but this actually seems like it's a little trickier. Which is good, it presents a new problem. It's just the problem is slower now. Okay, there we go. Increases rate of fire by a little bit. I don't know if there's going to be more upgrades. Maybe if it's one of those where it gets rid of even the lightning and the explosions and stuff, then that would be a little bit more worth it. Who knows? Maybe there's even a layer after you're done with the penta that's not the end of the game. That, you know, all of this is just kind of preamble for eventually being able to set your own build based on whatever modifiers you picked. And that the game just keeps, like, chucking layers at you at a somewhat slow pace. Yes. Gives fist fired by Max Manos a 10% chance to drop a shard on contact. Yeah, so it did replace quite a number of these talent options. Interesting. I think the problem right now is my damage is garbage. So I'm having some trouble destroying things to make that money, but that's okay. All right. Well, much as I'd like to see where the rest of this goes, I think this video has been going on more than long enough, so I will leave us here and go back to the main menu. So anyway, Max Manos is an interesting little incremental game. Like I said, the shape busting is fun. I like the different potential builds. I think I wish I had a little bit more direct agency of what my build is, rather than just like, hey, this is what you're, the talent tree you were given. But it's fine, it's a good diversion, and there's something really satisfying about just exploding the screen over and over again for an hour. But I guess with all that said, I might as well say that Max Manos is also available on Steam right now, so if you want to pick it up and play it yourselves, just follow the link in the description below. It's decent, it's good. It's one of those kind of like new agey, good for an afternoon, good for an evening, good for a couple of evenings, incremental game, and I'm a big fan of those. And yeah, I'll probably come back to more of this later at some point, and we'll see what the other prestiges are like. But for now, I guess if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, it helps more than you know, and if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe because I got tons to check out and show off. Well, for now, thank you all so much for watching, I'll see you next time.